All right. Hello, everyone. We're live, and I apologize for the delay. A little bit of technical difficulties. My virtual camera isn't working, and my audio wasn't working. I rebooted the computer, got the audio back at least, but my virtual camera isn't working, which is fine. I'll just keep it like this. I don't know if that virtual avatar, really added anything, but
We'll just have to
anyway.
pretend you're not actually a robot.
Yeah, I'm kind of breaking the illusion, but
Mm,
uh, I guess the cat is out of the bag. I am not a robot.
yeah, and well, we had that same disappointment with Vice Rhino as well. He's not actually a rhino. It
Oh, I know.
was
He
very,
was
very
not a
disappointing.
floating circle.
No, no, no. The Vice Rhino, not
Oh, that
Skeptic.
one. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. The
yeah,
skeptic. That was another one.
yeah. He's got a face as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
what is
Vice
going
Rhino
on?
showed his face, and you go,
And
oh
I
well,
guess the next is Sir Sick.
well that would yeah, that would probably
Oh,
be a
although
disappointment as well.
I did hear that he did like show up or showed his real face on somewhere. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but I thought someone
Mm.
said that in the comments when Skeptic came on. And yeah, I can't remember. There was some description of that person, but so right now it's just you and me, Blarg. I guess Zook might be running a little late. And Neil said he was tired, so he won't be on. And it looks like Craig was just asking that. And maybe I need a sound for yabba dabba doo when we talk about Neppy, Fred Flintstone, the Neppy.
Yeah.
Um, but I get a kick out of him trying out his rock soup thing. You know, he did that mud puddle for a while, but now it's rock soup, and it's funny how oblivious he is to how ridiculous that sounds, but he
Yeah.
wants to keep using it.
Well, he wants it to be as ridiculous as possible because he's nothing if not dishonest.
Well, but the ridiculousness is him. He's being ridiculous by making that ridiculous straw man that, like, no one says rock soup. I mean, he's taking what I think you or someone else had maybe mentioned that, some hypothesis about abiogenesis is that, there were some, you get kind of surface catalysis uh, that
Yeah,
could happen.
on clay molecules
Right.
that help tip the chirality in one direction and
Yeah.
in the correct direction, and then if it goes through a series of wetting and drying periods, um, you can end up having. Interestingly, it doesn't just self correct. It means every amino acid in the entire group goes with it, so it corrects the chirality of it selects for chirality on every single amino acid in the entire group, and you go, that is a pretty impressive outcome, actually.
Yeah.
Quite
And it doesn't
unexpected.
have to be even that efficient. Even if you
No,
get a little bit of selection, in one direction.
yeah, and then it just goes and dries and wets and dries and wets, and every time it dries, that crystallization process forces um, the chirality onto some of the molecules, and yeah, and you get more and more of it.
Yeah. And, even if you wanted to kind of make, strawman argument, you could say, that's where the mud puddle comes in, the wet dry cycle where it's been speculated that could happen in a
Yeah,
puddle that might, dry and then get, um, you know, moisture during a rain, etc. So the mud puddle, I mean, even that is a bit of a stretch, but the rock soup,
yeah,
it's just a
It
little bit
did
too
start
much.
with. he did start with the wet rock,
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
You remember that was
yeah.
his very original straw man. Hence my Lord's Prayer version done with rocks.
Oh no, I didn't. I don't remember that one.
Uh, I'll uh, I'll post it up in bits if I can, and so people can enjoy it. Hang on, let me dig it up. It's been around for a while. I don't post it very often. Um, so yes, so this is it. All bow down before the moist rock, tremble under its stony gaze, beware its slippery countenance. Our flint who art in water, basalt be thy name, thy kimberlite come, thy whirlite be done on earth as it is in water. Give us this day our daily watershed, and do not slip us up as we trespass, as we skip along others' rocky footpaths, and lead us not on to soapstone, but deliver us some evaporite. For thine is the sedimentary, the metamorphic, and the igneous. May they be moist forever. Bahoy hoy.
Nice. The hoi hoi was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a type of rock. Yeah, well,
Oh,
sorry,
is
it's a
it?
type. It's a type of lava. Pahoehoe,
Okay.
Pahoehoe, is one of the two types of lava that you get. I think that's the gooey one. You can also get a crumbly style of lava called nuh-uh. So these are Hawaiian words. So yeah, pahoehoe. So yeah, there you go. A little bit of geology. I did geophysics during my physics degree, so I have a minor in geophysics. So yeah, fun stuff. Um, yeah, well, that's probably true, Craig. Craig's asking, I wonder if Nepi and Flora just repeat what their pastors say. I don't know if it's their pastors. They certainly like to repeat what stupid shit you get off of Discovery Channel and Answers in Genesis. It's a lot of it is word for word, and even Kent Hovind. Um, you see elements of what Nepi posts that seems like it's come from Kent Hovind, and you're just going, yeah. But those two are probably kindred spirits because, yeah, both of them have headed off to jail for fraud. So, yeah, and QC's gone. So maybe is he still with us? He is really having some trouble with the connection on his computer today. Oh, that yeah, Dr. Dino. Yeah. Um, if anyone's had a look at any info about his PhD, and there's a big set of air quotes around PhD there, in case you couldn't hear it. It was A, incomplete. B, it has the language level of like grade 7 when you run those language tests, and you just go, that's not how PhDs work. And yeah, it was essentially incomplete. So he keeps talking about how he's added to it over the years, and you just go, that's not how a PhD works either. My wife has a PhD and has been the academic supervisor for multiple students. So I'm well versed in the process of a person gaining a PhD. She's got one currently at the moment going through the process of getting. He's completed the thing. He's waiting on examiners, but yeah, you have an examiners examine the final product, and they say yay or nay on whether it's worthy of a PhD or not. They might come back and say it needs some minor updates or some major updates, but rarely do they say it's good to go straight away. But yeah, usually once you address the couple of minor updates, then it's considered complete, and you graduate. But yeah, nobody ever adds extra chapters to a PhD after it's finished. That's not how that works. So yeah, he hasn't even got the faintest idea what how a PhD is done, let alone has he completed one. She doubts of Paul apostleship with conservative Christians. Craig, you made a bit of a mistake on that one, hey? So, a bit of advice: don't share your doubts of Paul's apostleship with conservative Christian. It ends badly, lol. Yeah, I'm sure it does. Did you talk to someone about the discussion from last week where we were talking about Paul having had temporal lobe epilepsy? Yeah, and Tuna Man having a president cabinet that prays on TV doesn't help either. Yeah, yeah. Remember the good old days when politicians didn't like to do things that could be seen, that they could get criticism from the news media about. These days, they're just like, no. Yes, and Craig, yes, I did indeed talk about that. Yeah, well, it's a solid hypothesis, really, it is, and it's a thing that's known to exist, and he really does meet the criteria. So, but yes, I do find with the particularly with the fundamentalists, they don't really take kindly to anyone questioning their dogma as opposed to questioning their what's real. QC still popping back on. While he's still stuffing around, I was saying in the chat just before we started that there's some rather moist weather currently in Australia, certainly in the top end. Last week, I managed to be in a place that had just a hint under 10 inches in 26 hours. So it was 8.5 inches over the 24 hours to 9 o'clock, which is when our weather bureau cuts the metering off. But yeah, there was a heap more rain through until 11 o'clock by the time it sort of cleared up just a little bit. So yeah, it was 245 mils. So and 254 is the full 10 inches, but that's a yeah, kind of wet. And then and that was before the not quite a cyclone struck the area. So yeah, we had a tropical low across the North Queensland coast on Friday, just near Cairns, which I think most people probably have some clue about that city up in the north. So we decided, no, we're not going to hang around. QC still, yeah. It's got his PhD from a nice Rice Krispie box. Yeah, well, actually, it would probably be more realistic if he actually got it from a Rice Krispie box. Then it'd be a real thing, not a real PhD, but it'd be an item he could show. And I am wondering what's happened to Ook, who is usually with us. Maybe he got washed out as well. There's been, as I said, there's been a fair bit of rain, and then the tropical low sort of came in and gave the area a bit of a beat up, and dropped a whole pile of rain and kind of wandered on down the coast. But yeah, it's dumping more rain as it travels down the coast. Hopefully not as much. A couple of years back, we had a cyclone. Actually, yeah, it was a Category 1 that crossed up on the Cape somewhere, and it tracked basically as a tropical low where the eye would be right along the Queensland coast, and that is without doubt the most expensive natural disaster in Queensland's history, because basically every single river in Queensland that empties onto the east coast ended up in flood. So even Brisbane, there were buildings there that got meters of water through them. There are thousands of buildings. So and yes, yeah,
Can you hear me?
back. Yep, you've turned
Can you
into a
hear me?
pumpkin though.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm coming in under a different account, and it
Okay.
says desktop. I need to
Hello, desktop.
change that. So I have to use both accounts because I can't control the console and like the comments and stuff with
Mm-hmm.
this account. So I have to have both on. Although the main account isn't even showing up. Do you see my other account?
No, no,
Oh,
it's. I can't see it even in the background.
okay. Oh, that's very strange. So something, and maybe it's because since the live has started, I really can't like change. But yeah, this is. Oh well, I guess this is how we're gonna have to do it. But
Yeah, well, we can hear you, so
yeah,
that's a bonus.
yeah. But I have to like. Well, I guess I can ignore the screen where I'm actually coming on and just use the administrator screen. But yeah, thanks for keeping this going.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, this is so bad.
yeah, we had
Um,
Craig um, tell us a little bit about his stuff up with the mentioning the hypothesis that the Apostle Paul suffered from temporal lobe dementia.
oh right,
Temporal lobe epilepsy to a conservative, and how that went marvelous.
yeah. Okay, it's interesting. So I can see like the number of people from Twitter that's watching this stream, and it's really or lower than it usually is. And that's
Yeah,
because I just haven't been on Twitter for a while. So the
yeah. Well, I
algorithm's
haven't.
probably not showing this up.
Yeah, I haven't been on the AXP very much. You might have noticed
Yeah.
a significant lack of comments with the little budgie on it. So,
um, it's interesting that. Oh, I hope I can do this.
Laugh a while you can, monkey
hey,
boy.
Aaron.
Oh, did that come up or not?
Yep, yep,
Oh, it did. I can't
yep.
hear it on here. Oh, that's really weird. Anyway, yeah, it looks like he's back from his fly in, fly out work, and now he's like getting all helping out with Pirate Kun and helping with the bigotry there. So I did make a comment about how he doesn't actually talk about religion at all. He's
No,
like
not
he's on
anymore.
here. Yeah, he's really on here to just kind of, push his, anti-LGBTQ bigotry.
Yeah, just
Um,
hate everything basically.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So he just like given up on trying to even make an argument. Not that he was actually making an argument before.
he thought he
Uh,
was.
yeah, he thought he was, and he thought he was being smart or thinking that he's some
Yeah, he had
hotshot.
that. Yeah, that he had something, because he really does think he's actually quite smart.
I think he
Um,
does. Yeah.
I'm sure he thinks he's smart, but wow, yeah, that is not the case. And hello, Monkey Boy, for listening in as well.
Yeah.
Appreciate the view. Um,
Yeah, but it is like it's just this kind of inability to reason,
yeah,
and it's just I'm sure there's a lot of kind of confirmation bias and other kind of cognitive issues, but he's just like he just can't. I think some of it is for people to have to be able to kind of follow someone else's argument, they have to be able to think like the other person. But
Yeah.
he is so stuck in his own thinking that he can't see the other argument. And I guess this goes for Florida Link as well. I mean, he just doesn't want to stray from his dogma because there is so much, uh, just cognitive dissonance involved.
Yeah.
If he has to actually like consider that he might be wrong, this whole thing with like the grammar being same as definitions, he just can't stray from that. So he has to like just keep doubling down on it, right? So he has to
Yeah.
just like
This-
make up this excuse. Well, you have to have some meaning in words for grammar to work. Therefore, definitions are same as grammar. That's he just has to find ways to justify his, his kind of bizarre thinking.
Yeah. But there's also the inability to admit you're wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is
So he
ironic
has to
because
keep
that
doubling and
post that he
doubling and
made.
doubling.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
did you see that one post he made about how can do atheists will they admit to being wrong?
I admit to being wrong regularly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have no problem with being wrong. When I discover I've been wrong about something, it means it means I just discovered something new or an error that I had. So I actually don't mind being wrong. I try not to be wrong,
yeah.
but if I am wrong, it's a thing. Deal with it. So yeah, he's it definitely keeps doing that. A lot of them won't come down. So it's a kind of a right wing thing you see more often. I don't know. It seems like it's a right wing thing you see more significantly on the right, on the left, and that is in some ways a characteristic of those two political groups. People who are on the left are willing to learn new things are more willing to learn new things. That's kind of definitionally what makes someone left leaning. So whereas on the right, the way things were, that's how things are, and things shouldn't be able to change. And don't change what the advice is from the CDC. Don't change what the Bible says, even if it was wrong. Don't don't change what we thought. Who was related to what. Don't do any of those things. Just keep it the same forever.
Okay,
But
looks like I'm back on my other account. You can hear
ooh,
me, right?
yep,
All right, cool. Because the comments were stuck on the other one, so I didn't see all the new ones coming in until just now. So Arendt mentions the sunk cost fallacy. Yeah, I, I well, I mean, I think a lot of times for these trolls and their creationism, because that's the topic of our discussion for this stream about the creationists kind of denying science. Uh, they are. It is sort of sunk cost fallacy where they've kind of put their self into the denial of science. So they can't, going back to admitting being wrong, they can't admit to being wrong. They
mm,
have to absolutely believe that their misunderstanding of science is correct.
yeah. And Craig says Christians have an us and them mentality. It's not just Christians. It's everybody does.
Yeah.
It's a part of the human condition, but it
Even
is a
atheists.
really everybody does. We like to. It's how we group people. So we mentally group our closest friends and then our acquaintances and out through the clan, and you're prepared to do more for the closest members and less for others, and your morality applies slightly differently to people the further away they are. So it's one of the problems with segregation was that if you never interact with, for example, black people, you see them as other because they're not part of your clan. But on the other end of that is you get vegans who see cows as members of their clan and get so extremely it's part of the reason they get so angry about the idea of eating cattle, because they or eating meat, is because they group those animals into, it's like someone eating your pet. Yeah, that's a part of your family, so you become really angry about that. But the idea that somebody might eat a dog as food somewhere overseas is less of a concern than that someone might eat your particular dog. So yeah, you do that. But I know you've
I
got
mean,
this really
the fact that we eat cows and pigs and chicken, and not dogs and cats, at least
yeah
outside of Ohio. Uh,
they
Tuna
are
Man
eating.
already anticipated.
Yeah,
They're
he was
eating
there.
the cats. They're eating the dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, in a certain sense, it is kind of relatively. I would say arbitrarily, right? There are reasons why we eat those animals because, uh, some of it is economics and some of it is, historical a little bit.
Mm.
Like, for example, people used to eat horses, but most of the time they don't.
Yeah, no, we
But
see horses as more intelligent and more personable. People have relationships with horses as um, it seems like every tween girl goes through this the
yeah,
pony stage, um, and the idea of eating a horse is just sacrilege. They become
well,
part of
but
the family
it is
idea, part
about,
of the
it's about how the animals look and
yeah.
behave. Like pigs are probably way more intelligent than horses.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so it's not
I've
about
seen some
that.
adorable pig pets.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never seen I've never met a person who has a pig as a pet, but I've seen some videos of some pigs, little potbelly pigs that are just adorable.
Now, do those people who have pigs as pets, do they eat pork?
Well, I used to grew up on a farm, and we had basically a livestock stock was some of the like a hobby farm, and our livestock was kind of partly our pets, but we had to be used to the idea of eating them.
Oh, that's right. So, I did grow up in a rural area where there were a lot of farms, and and yeah, there are kids who would have like a calf or something as a pet, but eventually they'll eat, right? They'll eat the.
Yeah,
I'm especially growing up in farm where it is kind of considered, as part of their lifestyle. So yeah, yeah, it's I guess it's sort of a bit of mental partitioning, right?
that's right. And but you
Yeah,
also this is the fate of the animal that you are with, so you hold back some.
yeah, that's true.
Whereas whereas if your pet dog or cat, that's never going to be the fate of it. You're not going to plan on turning Fido into Kung Pao chicken, so
Right.
or Kung Pao Fido. So yeah, you don't need to petition that way. So, but yeah, and we do indeed do that. But I think in some ways this is a little bit of the idea of the secular Christians, like Dawkins, because
Oh no,
he
you
doesn't.
mean that bigot? Are you talking about that bigot?
Yeah, that bigot. Yeah,
It's so
because
funny how
he wants
I
permission to
mean,
be a bigot.
just a little bit of a tangent, because for some reason you calling Dawkins a bigot, it just got on Monkey Boy's crawl for some reason,
No, no,
and
no. That's the opposite. No. The real part of it is that Monkey Boy knew he could not talk about the other stuff, so he was using that as an emergency change of topic.
Wait, what do you
That's why he
mean?
was on it. So the other stuff I was grilling him on is, I can't remember the exact topic because I've beaten him up on so many over the years. But there was oh, sorry, that was the one. It was about he brought up Dawkins as an expert
Right. Yep.
on biology, and
Yeah.
and then I went to Dawkins' website and found a thing called "Sex is Pretty Damn Binary."
Yep.
Where he describes it as pretty damn binary. He doesn't describe it as binary. And
Right.
then he also mentions the existence of transgendered people. These people exist. He's just not interested in them, and he's not interested in the small percentage of people who don't fit into the binary. And this was like in one sentence, and it absolutely demolished all of Monkey Boy's talking points. So yeah, I was beating him up on the fact that his own the expert he chose, um, was against him, and yeah, and also called him a bigot. So he had to talk about something else, which was the
You calling him
a
Dawkins a
bigot.
bigot.
Yeah,
But he's like keeping it up. So now it's like
yeah,
I'm the one who called him a bigot as well. And even despite me asking him multiple times, where and when did I say, actually say that? And he of course wouldn't answer it. But
because
somehow,
he can't back it up, of course.
yeah, yeah. But it's like a thing for him now. It's somehow wrong, right? And let me just add this here. So why does Challenger believes care so much if you bring up his stream called Dawkins a bigot for saying sex is a binary? Does
He didn't say
CYB
sex is a binary. That's the
think
problem.
Dawkins isn't a bigot? Why won't he denounce his anti-science stream? Wait, why won't is he talking that I won't denounce my anti-science stream? I guess that's what he's saying. Well, I think he must have been just knackered from reading his 100 pages of philosophy because it makes no sense to me what he was saying.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. Oh, and the other thing is like, when these guys, him and was a pirate, when they use this R slur, I mean, it just tells me that they're not even worth responding to. So I mean, that's like an immediate turn off for me whenever I see someone where, that's what they fall back to. They can't make a real argument. So they throw out a slur. I mean, it might as well be like an R, the N slur or whatever. And I mean, it's just silly.
yeah, yeah. It's
Um,
trying. It's there's two parts in the use of the slur. It's one, trying to change the topic,
yep.
and two, the good old ad hominem. So if you go with a really like if you just go with "you're stupid," that's just a plain old ad hominem. But if you go with
Yeah.
something that's meant to be controversial as the slur, and
Right.
might upset the other, or at least you intend to upset the other, it's
Yeah.
a twofer.
Well, I mean, that's the intent, right? If they want
Yeah.
to upset the other person, and if they upset the other person, they've won, right? In their mind, in their little minds, they've won because they've used an R slur. They didn't win the argument, but I've come up on top because I,
Yes, because I upset
bothered
the
this
person.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it doesn't bother me in the sense that I know, I mean, like I can't stop people from doing that, and there's so many people who use that. It's more of, it's just come on, it's like not worthwhile at that point, because well, I mean, most of these chores aren't worthwhile. But yeah, it's not that it's bothering me that they're doing it. It's just they're kind of silly for doing it. Let me add that. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I actually
So
looked this up. Yeah.
yeah. So this was after Monkey Boy. cited Dawkins as his expert, and I did ask him. You go, okay, are you saying he's the guy? And he's like, yep, he's an expert. And you go, all right, well, so it seems like he would say that, and he goes almost all the way. But there's a little bit of a problem here. Right here, we have when a female and a male mate, each offspring is either male or female, extremely seldom a hermaphrodite or intersex of any kind. And you just go, right. So in that, he acknowledges that hermaphrodites exist. This is Monkey Boy's was going on about how they don't exist, regardless of the fact that I'd given him heaps of published papers, and you go, that's not a thing, it doesn't exist. And yes, extremely seldom means that it doesn't. It's bimodal. It's not binary. Exactly what we've been saying. So
Well,
that's funky.
except I don't think those guys understand what that means.
Yeah,
What
it's a
it
narrow
really
bimodal.
means to say is bimodal distribution.
Yeah, it's
Like
yes,
from
it's
Pirate's point of view, they think that because there's just male and a female, that somehow bimodal distribution just can't happen. And in fact, one of the response he said, "Well, no, that's just secondary sex characteristics," which again demonstrates he doesn't understand what it means for sex to be a bimodal distribution.
yeah,
I
it's
I mean I don't want to spend too much more time on this because ultimately if sex and gender are different, and obviously that's arguable, it really doesn't matter all this the sex part, right? The
no,
biological
because
sex part.
but it's always the case whenever you try to have a conversation about transgender, you end up with a
Yeah,
conversation about
of course.
intersex. Just
Of course.
because they cannot separate those two, and you just go, yeah, but
Well, but this is like your argument that when people make the pro-choice argument based on autonomy, bodily autonomy, it's not a
yeah,
good argument. I think it's kind of similar, where the intersex argument is not a good argument for uh, you know on behalf of transgenderism,
yeah, no,
just because it's focused on the biological part.
yeah, but in some ways, look, I don't know. I might push back on that a little bit because there's a couple of things going on there. One, um, we know that sexuality is extremely broad and flexible, so that one's a lot more. Well, it's somewhat flexible, but it's also broad. So there's a lot of different groupings in that sort of sexuality space, and
Hmm.
then transgender is in that sort of head space as well, more so than the biology space. But we do know now that there is a biological basis for these, and calling them a condition is not the right term, but these characteristics of people. So we know there's a biological component to it, but it's something that seems really cut and dry. So people say, oh, well, there's just sex, it's male or female. And just go, no, biology is messy as fuck.
Yeah.
Even in a place where it seems as cut and dry as you can possibly make it, man or woman. That's it. You got testicles or you got ovaries. Um, it turns out that's not how everything works. So, in a place where it's cut and dry, so if it can be not cut and dry in a place where it seems like it should be cut and dry, where they were taught there is only one or the other, and now along you can go and say, well, look, there's all of these other things that can result in differences. So why can't the other differences also occur in the structure of the brain? So that's the only place I'd say that is actually an argument to use sex as an argument for transgenderism. Is that because biology is messy, if it can affect the sexual characteristics, why can't it affect the gender characteristics, which is
I
more
I
rubbery?
I I I agree with you in the sense that the way that transgender people feel that they're not in physically, um, in a sex that matches how their impression of themselves. Yeah, there's certainly a biological component to it.
Yeah.
It's in the sense that it wasn't because that person was raised in a certain way or taught a certain way. uh that the environment helps them to not have barriers in being honest with how they feel. But they feel that way because of the biology. So
Yeah.
there is a biological component of sex that is outside of just the basic sexual physical
Yeah.
characteristics that
Yeah.
it,
The
it
way you
express. Yeah, the way
it,
your
it
brain thinks and is wired.
yeah, you androgenize the presence of testosterone during development.
Yep.
Androgenizes the brain. So in the absence of that, those changes don't occur. And but in the case where you've got and this is why it is a bit messy, is because in the case where you've got some androgens but not enough to fully get there, you end up with that halfway space between the two. So it's not as plain and obvious to the person. So they may fall into that sort of space between the two. So they're the theys
Yeah, and that
rather than
the bimodal distribution is, let's say uh, that sex was determined by the amount of testosterone. There
mm,
isn't like a binary setting of if you have this much testosterone, you're a male, and if you have this much, it's a female. It's the distribution, right? Some people have more than others, and
yeah,
even throughout your life, it fluctuates. So
yeah,
to just say, you know, it, like for example, if we were to say that testosterone or any of these hormones, um, defined biological gender, that in itself kind of tells you, okay, yeah, it's a bimodal distribution, between 0 and whatever the max is. So, um, it's you can imagine, not just, with the level of testosterone, but all these other elements that you could have various different levels of expression of that biological sex.
um, yeah. So Craig's question there. Both brain and biological chemicals mix and bring about the change. That's what you're saying, yeah. So, so the developmental process that occurs in the womb is essentially at a certain point relatively early. It's in that sort of 6 week range. If there is plenty of testosterone present, and or the body is able to detect it. So sometimes it's a lack of sensitivity to androgens that can cause the problem as well. But if there's plenty of testosterone present, then the body is set off down a path towards maleness. Um, but the development of the brain occurs throughout the entire pregnancy. So so yes, if there can be plenty at the time of that differentiation, there might have been plenty of testosterone, but then maybe something was happening during the process, and whether that came from the genetics or whether it came from environmental conditions, like the mother was in significant distress or something, you can result in different conditions within the womb, and that will change the way in which the brain then goes on to develop its connections and some of its structure. So as a result, yeah, you can get anything from what you'd quote unquote normal development through to someone who is basically from even a little kid, they're always going to be wanting to be the other gender.
Yeah, and I don't think these trolls really understand the complexities of
They're not
that
interested.
developmental cycle.
No.
Because like, they keep talking about the SRY gene, and the SRY gene doesn't code for a male gene, in the sense that it isn't like one enzyme that somehow determines that you're a male or a female. It's a transcription factor that
Yeah.
affects a whole cascade of gene expression, and not just like turning on a gene or turning off a gene, but turning on and off sets of genes in sequence, in complex ways, in kind of interdependent ways, this
Yeah,
cascade, and it varies throughout the time of development. And so
yeah,
you can't just like if anything goes wrong during that time, or like you were mentioning, kind of the neonatal environment, etc., all those things get affected. Hormones are there to kind of signal different things. So if you have different amounts getting expressed in different parts of the cell, you could have a completely different quote unquote person coming out of it.
yeah.
So to say that, yeah, as long as you have the S or Y gene, you're a male, and if you don't, you're a female. It's just like completely not understanding what
No,
all how all of these things work.
no, it's bloody ridiculous. And also, they kind of ignore the fact that if they were paying attention to their own dogma about how God designed things, if you just go, well, in that case, why are you getting in the between God and the
Yeah.
person's the way He designed things? You know, if you wanted to say that God designed this person to be trans, you know, where does it say
Well,
that?
except the most notorious troll that brings this up is calls himself atheist, right? So he's
Yeah,
trans atheist. So that wouldn't work for him. And even Monkey
no, no,
Boy.
but I'm just talking about the people who use that say, oh, you can't be trans
Yeah,
because God didn't make you trans, and you go, says who?
yeah.
You're like, yeah, who? So if you believe that God makes everybody and God makes no errors, then you're trying to say there's an error made. So yeah,
Well, God supposedly knows you in your womb, so
yeah,
so God knew
before you,
that you're going to be trans.
yeah,
So it's actually also similar, what we were discussing about kind of our development. It's also similar to the sexuality.
mm,
People saying that they're born gay and all that. The difference between sexuality and trans is that with the trans, there is kind of this physical appearance aspect of it. Like
yeah,
different organs, etc. This kind of major differences. Whereas I guess homosexuality isn't obvious, not physically obvious in
yeah.
that way.
Well,
Although
I don't know.
there's probably right some markers, etc. But ultimately, the point is that all this kind of the complex development, etc., it affects it ultimately affects what you're going to be like, to the point where it isn't someone just all of a sudden waking up one day and deciding that I'll identify as a woman, or someone waking up one day and saying, oh, I'm going to be gay. You don't choose that.
No, actually, Craig would be able to back me up on this. You don't need to look very hard to be able to tell. So if you had no idea who Alan Carr is, um, yeah, you only have to see the man basically say one sentence, and it's pretty damn easy to work out what's going on right there. Um, and who's the? I just remember the name of the bald. Comedian who always wears the extremely well dressed. Apparently, he used to wear a 3-piece suit to school to try and take people's mind away from the idea that he was gay. And you go, that's his running joke. Or yeah, dressed like some medieval, like yeah, like a 18, from the 18th century. Yeah, so people wouldn't notice he was gay.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you go, oh, how'd that work out for you?
And by the way, this variations, whether it's trans or sexuality,
Yeah,
it perfectly fits with evolution, because the idea is that you have to have these variations. If we don't, oh wait, hold on. Yeah. The car is so gay, it's crazy.
I bloody love that man. He's so funny as he's just brilliant, and yeah, just be who he is. So
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there were times when it was not okay to be over outwardly or socially
yeah,
identified as being gay, but it, to try to ostracize, people like that, and to try to somehow get rid of them or convert them. Uh, I mean, there's so much contributions from people who are gay, and I mean, like I always think of like Alan Turing, where just imagine all the contributions that he could have made if he
yeah,
wasn't afterwards, after he basically, broke the Nazi code. He pretty much, mm, you know, I mean, I think it drove him to commit suicide, being outed and
yeah,
all that.
yeah. And well, it was the he was also chemically castrated, so he was
Oh
out,
yeah,
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 and chemically castrated,
yeah,
and yeah, it's that's just cruel,
yeah.
and and yeah, how much could that man have added to the world, except for the bigotry of others? It's
You mean bigotry, like
Laugh a
this
while you
guy?
can, monkey boy.
yes, that sort of bigotry.
Yeah, thank you. Um.
So
Anyway, yeah. So, I mean, we ended up kind of taking this route, but I what I did want to, like I said, the topic of this discussion was this kind of this anti-science, uh, creationism. Uh, so uh, I think Florida Link really epitomizes the kind of the science illiterate creationists.
yeah,
Creationists.
but they also claim science supports them, and they get that stupid shit from Discovery Institute, who has made a commercial reality out of lying about science, and AIG as well. They produce all sorts of material to so that they can lie about science, lie and say that science is supporting them, so they can sell more books to gullible people. And you just go, yeah, you just it's just the most awful humans imaginable.
Yeah, and I mean they are trying to make it justify it as being science, but there's no real science behind
No, no,
it.
no.
You know,
Pointing at something and saying, "Oh, pilt, down, man." Therefore, evolution's
you
not
can't
true. Not
you
science.
can't trust science because
Yeah,
there was a
pilt
fraud.
down, man. Yeah, one fraud, and you just go, "Oh yeah." In which case, let's have a look at all the frauds in the Catholic Church over the years, starting with the Shroud of Turin. Um, there were all of those. Remember, there was the some discovery of an ossuary, so a boneyard under a church or something, and they're like, "Oh, excellent," because the church was making lots of money out of selling artifacts belonging to the saints. So the bones of the saints. So they now they had themselves all of these bones that they could just put crowns on, and they can put all sorts of things on, dress them up, and then sell them as, this is the bones of St. Paul, and this is the bones of St. Peter, and so on and so on and so on.
By the way, just a little interlude. I mean, I'm sure this is gonna be futile. But if Monkey Boy does want to come on and try to defend his views or any views, uh, I can give him the link. I don't think he's going to take me up on it because uh, because he's a coward. He doesn't have an argument
Yes,
and he can't make an argument.
that's
And
right.
just to remind everyone who may not know the history of this channel, um, what? Oh, Ook. Hey, Ook.
Hi,
Let me just finish here. So the history of this was that initially Monkey Boy was in the comments trying to get people or trying to bully people to say, well, if you want, I can debate you, and I have experience debating in real life. And he made it very clear there was a real life debate. So he was just like, he knew or he assumed that no one was actually going to call his bluff. So I called his bluff. I said, all right, okay, let's do it. And after that, oh my God, the excuses that came up for him to run away. It was just funny. And still the funniest for me is when he said, I'm not going to debate you because you lied about Hegel. Because that's like the first reason I come up with when I don't want to debate someone is because they lied about some philosopher, quote unquote lied.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
obviously I didn't lie. I basically explained Hegel to him and he didn't like it. So his feelings got hurt. But yeah,
Oh,
it's such a
poor boy.
grasping at straws. You lied about Hegel, so I'm not going to go on a debate.
You hurt his feels.
Yeah. Oh wait. Well, hold on. I'm gonna post this. Yes, it's incredible listening to you say. Oh my god.
I,
So I'm
I
like completely lambasting him for using a weak ass excuse to not debate me, and he's bringing up the docket.
Is that
Oh
low
my
life?
god.
Is that low life cunt Damon kicking around? Is he?
yeah, he's
Yeah,
in
he's
the.
back in his fly in fly out.
He, he couldn't help himself. He was lurking, and yep, we managed to get him to pop his nose up, and yep.
Oh my god. I'm just like,
I had a fucking rough couple of days. Never take a sleeping pill and sleep 14 hours and forget to take your painkillers. That's what I did. So I'm feeling pretty rough. But yeah, if that. Oh yeah, he's still there.
so speaker truth.
Nobody.
Speak English. Nobody understands you. So
Yeah, I mean,
I think the reason why Monkey Boy doesn't come on is because he's not a native English speaker. Um, and you can tell just by the
he's
way
supposed to be
his
in Australia. He's supposed to live in Australia,
yeah.
but I'll be fucked if the cunt lives in Australia, or is in Australia. Have
Yeah,
you got
right.
your
It's not in
citizenship
Australia. Yeah.
papers, donkey? I am swearing a lot because I
Yeah,
really
I know.
disrespect
I know. I
fucking
realize that.
that
Um,
Damon Penny.
at
Oh,
this
look,
point,
look, look! He's running away.
Oh,
well,
We're
you
too progressive for him.
yeah, you threatened him to a debate, and he has to run away. Throw
Right.
it. It's basically the loser flag wave. It's the bye losers, I win. As they go
gutless
running off
piece
into
of
the
shit, Damon.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, in case anyone wonders, Ook is feeling like his picture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
think that answers Craig's question. Hello, how you keeping?
yeah. Shit.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I'll see out of that.
all right, Ook, you get to
I get to shut up now.
no
I'm
talk
running out.
about. We get to talk about Florida Link here. Uh, so I mean, he's just like on this tirade of posting his spam without actually engaging in anything, and of course, he's never gonna come on. He's too much of a. I mean, I think he realizes that he has nothing. Uh, but yes, the MFK, as in Damon MFing Kenny, gone scurrying off to hide beneath his god's robes again. And like I said, I don't think that Monkey Boy is really that religious.
No,
And whenever he in the
but
past,
he does. He
Probably had.
does enjoy hovering in under the them robes and nuzzling God's
Well,
balls,
yeah,
though.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's a big
probably
fan of
had to
that.
go and perform oral sex on his missus. He's very good at
Yeah,
that,
his
apparently.
obligation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
she just got
so
back
I
from the
I
bar.
feel like we've like scared him away, so he's never gonna come back. So we lost whatever chance we had at actually talking to him. All
I
right,
know.
so trying to go back to Florida here. So
Sometimes, right?
I mean, he brings this up a lot. Individual elements and chemical compounds do
Yeah.
not, I repeat, do not possess any characteristics or properties of life. Zero, nada, zilch, zip. As if
Who
someone,
said that? Did
yeah,
you?
as if someone said a water molecule has personality. Uh, Life exhibits characteristics, properties of vitality. This kind of vague, circular property,
I
vitality.
mean, some of my pisses had quite had personality, but
Well, I don't know.
yeah,
Leibniz claimed that that molecules had personalities.
yeah.
Well, yeah, Leibniz thought monads didn't have any causations. So
Yeah, monads were infinitely divisible little chunks of everything, and then when you stack enough of them together, they turn into you know, all the elements that you get. So there's no such thing as emergent property. It's all properties that exist all the way down.
yeah, but you know that like there's no causation in Leibniz's model, right? Nothing like makes the other things happen. The monad is programmed from the beginning to go through like specific movements so that when it looks like a billiard ball hit another billiard ball, it's not that the hit caused that other billiard ball to move. That other billiard ball was going to move anyway. And it's just all orchestrated so that it looks like one caused the other, but there is no causation from Leibniz's point of view. So anyway, uh, yeah, no one says that individual elements and or chemical compounds as any of these what he considers characteristics of life, which his God doesn't really all fit, right? His God shouldn't need adaptation, doesn't grow, shouldn't have structure. I guess character. I mean, this is a horrible character, but um, does God actually react to stimuli? Because that wouldn't make sense. Does a supernatural being or a triomni being would it react to a stimuli?
A rock reacts to a stimulus. You poke it, it rolls over.
Yeah.
So
And by the way, reproduction that does. So is Florida literally admitting? Hello, Steve-O.
Hey guys.
hey,
Hey.
Steve.
Hey, I'm
So we're just
earlier than you. Where's your name?
barely earlier.
Barely.
Aramasa, Monkey Boy, you're acting like a feral teacup chihuahua. It actually fits him. The way he behaves in the comments, I think feral teacup chihuahua does describe him well. Pissmark a pack of wolves in some attempt at showing dominance. All right.
They do not. They do not understand that a dog is bigger than them, do they? They
No,
just are
no.
missing that part of their brain.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I just fucking hate chihuahuas. They are
It's
just the
like
worst.
those rats when they have that parasite where they lose all fear of cats and they'll just like go right in front of the cat. I guess it's
Yeah,
kind of like that.
yeah. Essentially, that part of the brain was bred out of them.
Yeah.
The only good thing a chihuahua's for is to point out where the snake is and to throw at the snake. You, you can't even throw them in a billabong to find out whether there's a croc in the billabong or not because the crocs look at them and go, oh, fuck off, I'm not eating that. Too small.
Yeah, I think that's right. Toxoplasma gondii.
That is a
That's it. And
that
yeah,
That is a true story about how you find out whether there's a croc in a water hole. Throw your dog in.
What?
Why do you think so many bushies have so many dogs?
Because they like dogs.
Yeah, fuck yeah, they love them.
All right.
Everyone
Uh,
loves dogs.
this definition of life as reproduction. So does that mean like God reproduced with Mary, and that's how Jesus was born?
Yeah,
Is
he
that what
fucked.
he means by
Yeah, but
reproduction?
the thing is, I reproduce all sorts of things that isn't what you mean when you talk about reproduction. If I went along and took a shit and it had a little piece of cancer drops out of my ass, that's not what you'd consider reproduction. But in the terms of a god, them producing something as tiny as a human is not reproduction. It's yeah, basically it's taken a shit of a little piece of cancer. It's such a tiny, insignificant, flawed bit of rubbish that that's the sort of analogy that you meant to be working with here. So you can't say that God reproduces even if he went
Even
along
if
and
he
created,
poops cancer cells?
yeah, or even if he creates humans, that's not reproduction.
Yeah, it's not reproduction. But if
No,
he did have sex with Mary to impregnate her, then yeah, then he did reproduce.
yeah, and in which case, then yeah, it
Then
changes
he's a
the view.
rapist.
Yeah,
So, speak of truth, I'm sorry, but he really does believe the words that come out of his mouth. I mean, he is really, really dumb. His argument against evolution is that there must have been something for evolution to work. So his argument against evolution is that it's not abiogenesis. And his argument against abiogenesis is that there must have been some matter for, the abiotic material to be there to become biomolecules, meaning that his argument against abiogenesis is that it's not the Big Bang theory. And of course, his argument against the Big Bang theory is that it doesn't explain the diversity of life. So that is how he quote unquote disproves cosmology, abiogenesis, and evolution by saying it's not the other things, and that is how dumb he is. So
yeah, it's like saying that one of the apologetic arguments that God isn't real because one of the apologetic arguments fails to explain something unrelated to it. Like, yeah, God must exist because blah blah blah. That everything has a cause. Um, but that argument doesn't explain the use of the word unicorn in the Bible, so therefore it's wrong. It's as stupid as that. It's not trying to.
but so he continues to use this definition, or I should say verbatim grammar for life.
Damn
And
verbatim grammar.
yeah, and he will not address the fact that his God doesn't fit into that definition. And I mean, he doesn't even invoke the special pleading. He just
No, he just
ignores
ignores
it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, he just
he runs
ignores it.
away
Yeah,
every time.
yeah,
You just go, yeah. Under none of those characteristics, reaction to stimuli. Well, we've never seen God react to anything.
yeah.
So there's no evidence of that. Consciousness, yeah. Consciousness. Since when is a bacterium conscious?
Yeah.
I don't know. Mental capacity. It doesn't have a brain, so that's not a characteristic of life. Reproduction, intelligence. Yeah, I wouldn't call yet the an amoeba intelligent either. So emotion, sociability, and personhood. You go, yeah. Since when?
Well, it's that he has a deficient definition of life, but he keeps on wanting to use it because he wants to be able to say that human beings can only come from other human beings.
Yeah.
except in Genesis 2:7, where it
When-
comes from dust.
Oh,
And he
didn't you run
was that.
away, Donkey? I thought
I
you
know.
believe it.
He's such a liar, so he says, he's going to leave, and now he's continuing to just
Why?
lurk and continue to get stuck on this Dawkins thing. It is just, I
Can I
mean,
be a
it
right
just
cunt and kick the arsehole?
no, it's fine.
He's great to
I
laugh
mean, the
and point.
entertainment, yeah, the entertainment value is so great. And how many
Laugh a
times
while
can I
you
do
can,
this?
monkey boy.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
this Genesis 2:7, it's like, and I think, Blarg, you disagree with me that this is technically abiogenesis. It's obviously not abiogenesis in the sense of the scientific theory of abiogenesis.
no,
And
it
I
is
think the term
abiogenesis by the fact it was non-life becoming life, because
yeah,
the definition
yeah,
of life can apply to God.
right. But
Yeah, I'm
this
with
is
Blarg on that
their,
one.
what was that?
I'm with Blarg on that one. Technically, definitionally, it's life coming from non-life. So, yeah, it
Oh,
is.
no,
Yeah,
that was my argument, but I think at one point Blarg did disagree with me.
I
And
don't know.
I
I,
know Monkey Boy loves it when there's a disagreement amongst us.
Laugh a while you
yeah.
can, monkey boy.
And in fact, I think he made some comment about how Neo and Blarg they're constantly, I guess, what is the word? Constantly, uh,
Fondling each other's nuts.
contradicting, constantly
Sorry.
contradicting me.
No, that works. Either way works.
Yeah.
I was just
But
going to take bits at that because my arm isn't that long. He's all the way over England.
Damn it, man.
but yeah, I mean, initially, before when I made that argument, I think you were saying, and I think you were right in that sense as well, where abiogenesis, the term came up to describe the science, right?
Yeah,
Not necessarily, it wasn't a generic term, but
yeah,
I think it's fine to use it as a generic term to say that they have a model, the creationists have a model of abiogenesis in the sense that previously there was no life and now there's life. And their explanation is that their God took some inorganic matter, dust, and made it into a man who, according to what Florida is trying to argue, is that the man remained lifeless. Lifeless as in the sense that, maybe it didn't have consciousness and all that. But just from an abiogenesis point of view, it, God breathed into his nostrils, so it had nostrils. So it had all the kind of the organs and the physical parts of a living being or living organism. So what God did was kind of like, what Dr. Frankenstein did, where he took a bunch of organic material, meaning all this like cadaver pieces, and got some electricity to make it come to life. However, he started with organic material. So God apparently took a two-step where he took some dry dust, turned it into organic material with a nostril, and then did his magic and made it come to life.
Oh, it's not
So,
magic. How dare
well,
you?
yeah, that's right. It's not. It's what was it? Neppy saying? Divine something? Oh, divine powers.
I don't
I
know.
I haven't been
He
on
did.
the XP in a while, so I can't tell you.
Yeah, I know. I'm the only. Me and Tuna are the only ones.
Yeah, I've been super freaking busy. So
Oh yeah, you have your. I guess this is another little bit detour, but you're trying to start a business, right?
yeah, but we'll not talk about the specifics of that because
No.
donkey boy. But yes, I'm in the process of doing some of that sort of stuff as well. So
Yeah.
You bought a
and
boat to get around North Queensland, yeah?
Well, I pissed off out of up there because
Right.
yeah, I thought, cock it. So I got in the car and drove out of there on Friday, and I'll go back up again in a few weeks when the flood disappears.
I
Because
don't
um,
think I can find it, but
I was telling the crowd that we got just shy of 10 inches in 26 hours, and
yeah,
that wasn't due to the cyclone slash
the
drop below.
it's somewhere around. I think it's either Cooktown or
Oh, Daintree.
no, one a little bit southern. There's a pub with a croc sort of coming, a big croc coming up a
Lion's
sign.
Den.
Croc tours here on the river, and counter lunches and all that. And the only problem is, the only thing you can see of the pub is the croc coming out of the roof. Yeah, the water's that deep that the pub's flooded. I just thought that was funny. But yeah, pissing down
S-
rain here as well. Um, I'm just lucky I've got about a 10 metre gap before the Caboolture River starts to come over the street where I am. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, well,
Craig makes an interesting question. It's oddly strange why the nostrils. And initially I was thinking, why is that strange? But oh yeah, and he follows up. I like this is was my thought as well. Why not the mouth? Why the nostrils? Is there like I wonder if there's some kind of a cultural relevance or something where uh the nostrils have to
I couldn't tell you that.
hmm. And by the way, did they have navels? I, I think it was because it's before God created oranges and navels, so that's why they didn't have navels.
Huh.
Uh,
Don't be
and he did
oranges.
not breathe into
Oh,
Eve. Yeah, so that's the thing with Eve is that God created Adam out of dry dust. Why couldn't he just use that same process for Eve? And I oh, that's interesting because I know one of the puns that Craig brought up. I have to like scroll back up. Was that where is it? Where is that? I can't find it. Well, I guess I have to retell it. It's like, oh, maybe you can post it again, Craig. Your thing about the Eve. Oh yeah, here it is. Why did God split the atom to make Eve? So it was kind of funny. That was like a, um, yeah. So I did
oh,
hear something about how the reason why God created Eve from Adam by quote unquote splitting Adam is that no, I can't remember. I think it was like Dan McClellan had a comment about that. Oh yeah, it was a short when he was talking about Lilith, and it's actually an interesting one. So I recommend you guys look that up. He
I
had a
saw his
comment
post
about.
on X, but I couldn't. I didn't check it yet.
Okay, so yeah, going back to him. So yeah, so God, turned this lifeless abiotic material into cells, I guess, and it didn't have life in his definition, meaning you know having a consciousness and personality and all that. But supposedly that's God would have had to turn those that dust into cells, and organs, all that to begin with, before
and
he breathed it into it.
and get rid of something like 40 kilograms of silicon because
Well, he converted it. He used his magic, I mean, divine power, to change
Yes, to
all
turn
the
it
silicon
into water.
into carbon.
Don't you know
Into
the
water.
prayer blag, Iggity Biggity Boo? That's how
No,
it
that one.
works. Yeah,
I think that's what he spoke, and the dust turned into Adam.
yeah.
But his argument is that it's not abiogenesis. It's not non inorganic material becoming organic, uh, because God breathed into it. So even if God didn't start with dry dust, and he somehow formed man out of his breath, it still is non-life becoming life. So it is still abiogenesis. It's just that instead
Yeah.
of relying on chemistry, which is what science does, because those are chemical processes that we know happen. But instead of that, Florida wants to say it's because of this breath that is actually caused that life to occur. And a shout out to him calling out Strong's concordance, because he still doesn't understand the difference between a concordance and a lexicon.
Yeah, I don't know. I suspect he actually does entirely understand the difference. He doesn't want to understand the difference.
Or he doesn't
Um,
want to admit that he
he
looked
was
it
wrong.
up and realized that he's wrong, but he doesn't
Yeah,
want to admit he's wrong.
yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, but
problem.
he has to keep mentioning it, because if he doesn't mention it, it may seem like that he's admitting that he's wrong.
Yeah, he just keeps repeating the stupid, and yeah, hoping at some point that stops being the stupid.
Is that why Donkey has to say he's so good at cunnilingus with his wife? Because he
Oh,
keeps saying that it'll be true.
it may make us actually believe him.
Yeah.
I was going to ask for a picture, but then I thought, no, hang on, that'd be really, really. No, I don't want to see that. That'd be too close up. You need a, yeah, nah. Need one of those mining helmet cameras.
Oh,
I haven't
Full
had a
body,
smoke. Give me a
full
break.
full body condom.
Yeah.
So, are you in the process of giving up? Are you? You've gone. You've done it. You've bit the bullet.
No. I'm getting close. Getting close. Getting close. Is the camera on? Yeah, the camera's on.
Yep. So that's it.
That's it. That's it.
Good, mate. Stretch it out as far as you can, and and
Now, is that your tobacco?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I saw your post. I didn't realize that Australia was so strict in controlling
Oh,
nicotine.
we suddenly went ballistic on tobacco. Yeah, sure, it was costing the health service. Fucking, it was the largest drain on the health service.
yeah.
But fuck me, if you got all the cops one day deciding, well, I think we're going to shut every single tobacconist from, was it Rockhampton to Tweed? They shut it like that. In Queensland, they shut every single tobacconist in one day in half the state
Wow.
because of the illegal tobacco trade. Tobacco
Damn.
tax had become so exorbitant that well over 70% of all tobacco sold in Australia was illegal.
It's
There's
interesting that what causes the crackdown on tobacco isn't necessarily the actual health impact, but the
no,
cost
it's
of the health impact.
Yes.
yeah.
It's the economics that drove that, rather than someone saying, we can't have all these people suffering.
But the strange thing is, they legalise marijuana or decriminalise marijuana, they still, even though you can, Crystal can get, her prescription, not a problem. It's got to come from Canada.
What?
Now, why the fuck are we importing medical cannabis when we can grow it quite happily here in Australia? Medical cannabis.
They're not allowed to sell it.
Yeah, they've got people who are growing medical cannabis. They've fulfilled the law. They're just not allowed to sell it in Australia.
That makes no fucking sense.
It's ridiculous. It's fucking, and you could make more out of taxation of the cannabis than you could out of the smokes.
You know, I wonder. So in the U.S., and Steve, maybe you know more about this, but I think cigarettes are like really expensive because
They
of
are.
all the
Bullshit.
taxes that they're paying.
It depends on your state, I guess.
Okay.
Because
Well,
some
yeah, if you
states-
go to Kentucky, I'm sure there's less
so
of a
if
tax.
you're broke, don't go to New York. A pack of cigarettes costs like $10 American over there.
$10.
How much is
dare
how much? is a
just
packet
for a pack, though, right? That
Just
that
for a
means like
pack.
for a carton. For a carton,
Luke.
it'll be like
Luke.
over 100.
Close
Tell
enough,
them
yeah.
Tell them how much a 50-pack is in Australia.
You can't buy a 50-pack.
Oh, you can't anymore. Oh,
No, you can only buy a 20-pack, and you're looking at 60-odd bucks.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
So-
yeah.
Oh wait, so
But that-
cigarettes are still allowed? It's just
Yeah, but you can only buy cigarettes, a packet of cigarettes that has a tobacco value of 30 grams. That's all you're allowed to buy.
Wow.
30 grams of tobacco.
That's not a lot.
Now,
Ooh,
I
by the
buy-
way, I see Crystal kind of walking back and forth in your background.
yeah,
right?
I
Okay, that's
have
fine.
to be
Um,
careful of that.
So the reason I brought up the tax in the U.S. on cigarettes is that I'm just wondering, is there like a black market of cigarettes in the U.S.? I mean, where
Well, you
yeah.
can grow tobacco in America legally.
yeah,
you
but
can-
I mean,
In
it's
Australia,
not like
you can't.
yeah.
Well, it depends. Like I referred back to New York with the high cost because it's all the taxes on it.
Yeah.
And
As
So
also
long as you
people
don't
like-
sell it, so as long as you use it for private use, you can grow it.
yeah.
I checked it out there, Steve.
Okay.
In Australia,
Like,
You-
wait,
it's
so
illegal
Steve,
to own a
so
tobacco
if you wanted
steam.
to get cheaper cigarettes, is it possible for you to get it, like, have someone ship it to you from a state where it's cheaper?
I don't know about that particular law. I think that might vary to state, but most states don't mind you going across state lines to get cigarettes for
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
cheaper, as long as you have there's a stamp on each pack of cigarettes saying where you got it from. That way, you know legal where you
Mhm.
bought it. Now, if you buy it without a stamp on there, that could be a legal problem for anybody, because then people could start selling that on the like a black market type of deal.
Right, or a reseller, right? Someone
Yeah,
could
exactly.
resell
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Yeah, they don't want you reselling it. You have to buy it from official tobacco licensed places.
that is what the requirement is for an Australian pack of cigarettes to look like.
Oh, that just makes me want to smoke.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's it. You cannot have your brand can only be a little tiny thing down the bottom. It's in that plain
Wait,
colours.
where's the brand? Oh,
So where it says
it's-
brand, these are
okay.
examples. Yeah, so these
Okay,
are
got it, yeah.
examples of it. So brand is in little. It has to be. So you can't really make use of the brand name. It's not there big in the front. You can't make use of the brand colours. You can't make use of any brand imagery. It's gone completely. And Philip Morris sued the Australian government to try and say, hey, you've gone and ruined our brand. But what they did first is they moved their business overseas, or they opened a what did they do? They opened an arm of it in Southeast Asia somewhere, and then moved all the value into that location, and then tried to argue that under international trade laws, that you were we're not allowed to take brand values off of things overseas, but they just moved the brand value overseas so that they could make this bullshit argument.
Yeah.
And the Australian High Court told them to go and jump in the lake.
Yeah, it was obvious why they did it.
Yeah. And but yeah, that's what they're meant to. That's what they look like in Australia, and all the places where they sell cigarettes in Australia. Like if you go to a grocery store and the cigarettes are kept in a closed counter, in a closed cabinet behind the counter. So yeah, you can't even peruse the things. There's nothing to see.
Yeah.
Vaping
So,
is completely illegal. Even
which is a bit shit, really, actually.
all vaping, even if it's not nicotine vaping or THC vaping, it's all illegal. You can't even
Unless you
buy
have a prescription, you can get a prescription, so you can vape if
prescription.
you under the same basic laws you can
Yeah,
get pot. But yeah, they got
I
rid of
can't.
that.
I can't even buy pipe tobacco. I mean, you just can't get it. No one's importing it anymore because there's
Wow.
just no problem. You're looking at the illegal tobacco trade as of, I think, halfway through last year. I think it was up in the 87 billion
I wouldn't be surprised.
or 57. One of those two.
It's still a high number
So,
regardless.
Yeah.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you try taxing alcohol even a third as much as you've taxed tobacco, you'd have a civil war in Australia.
shit.
And I will argue that alcohol is more detrimental to society than tobacco.
I agree with
Well,
that.
until it like causes a lot of healthcare, enough of a healthcare cost, I guess they'll be okay.
I think even on the healthcare, if you take it all, mental health, everything, it you know,
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, alcohol has its own beast, so to speak.
Yeah,
Because
there's certainly a poor argument to say that you're banning something like marijuana on the basis of it being dangerous when you have cigarettes and alcohol being legal,
yeah.
oh yeah,
because that just makes no sense at all.
yeah, I fully agree with that right there. That statement.
Yeah,
Ook, speaker likes your hat.
Yeah. Tar, mate, I do actually have to, it's a shit one. I do actually have to get another one. And
Well, it's hard to tell in the video.
yeah, Crystal's said if I give up smoking for 2 weeks, I can get my hat that I normally have, which is an Akubra territory. I'll drop a link in the show later to show you what a fair dinkum Aussie northern hat is. Yeah.
And for his previous question
Thanks,
about
man.
Florida, so I know, I think there's one person who keeps on misgendering him to say he's a, and just FYI, I'm not into that. I mean, I think I understand the point as kind of an insult, which kind of in itself is problematic. But yeah, I mean, whether they are cis or trans, I don't think people should be misgendered. But yeah, he is a man, and here is him when we were talking.
One example where I was lying.
you just lied about giving me a chance to answer you.
See, you're deflecting. No, I did
That's him
lie. I told you
talking.
there was no link to click on. There was no link.
You just lied about giving me a chance to tell you when you lied, and then you lied about me not doing that. So you just
I
can't stop.
asked you to tell me. I asked you to tell me when I was lying. Tell me. I'm all ears. I'm listening. Go.
Question:
I'm listening. Go.
why is it possible?
By the way, that's one. That's the video where he and Flark were having a phone conversation, and that's where Flojo threatened to make a pretzel out of Flark, and also take him to the back shed before he shows him Jesus.
That
Oh God!
came out
Oh
so
God!
wrong.
Oh God! Yeah, he's going to fold me over, show me Jesus.
Oh, I mean, just the mental imagery. No.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's how he talks, and he was on the first live stream I had, where because Monkey Boy, ran away, uh, Florida actually, and at the time we thought, hey, he seems like a good guy. He wasn't
I've
afraid
had a
to
few
have a
women that
discussion.
offer to bend me over and show me Jesus.
And actually,
You know, I'm thinking,
to be fair, I thought not everyone thought he was a good guy. I think Craig and also I think Neil, uh, didn't think he was gonna turn out to be a good guy, and they were right. So, but yeah, he came on and we had a debate, and then he came back on again in the live stream where he got in the comments, said, "Hey, let me get on," and because he did it at the end of the live, I said, "Well, I'll bring you up, but why don't you come back next week, and we'll have at the beginning of the show, and we'll have a discussion." And we've never heard from him in this live stream since then, and that was like 2 years ago. But anyway, that's the history of what happened with Florida, and he is a man. He's actually about the same age as I am, interestingly. But
Yeah,
anyway,
he's certainly and almost certainly the bloke takes a lot of roids because
He sounds like it.
he really does sound like it. I'd be willing to guess he's bald with back knee.
oh, the other
So
thing is like when he first came on, the handle he used was Florida BJJ something.
Kickboxing, I
Uh,
think.
yeah,
yeah, because I think he was into Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But just having a BJ in your handle just, kind of invites a little bit of
Yeah.
ridicule.
yeah, it's not a
And
good look. Can you imagine a
yeah,
big banner across his dojo? BJ's here. No, it's just the wrong
well, I
And the
think the people,
optics.
messaging. Ugh.
yeah, but people in like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I think they use BJJ often.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Anyway,
trademark for them pretty much now.
yeah, so all right. We're nearing towards the end. Let me just cover this one because he posts this a lot as well. I'm gonna keep asking till someone gets the guts to answer honestly and correctly. And interestingly, even when people actually respond and answer, he doesn't engage
no, he just
because
repeats it again and repeats it
yeah,
again.
yeah, and says that well, no one, everyone's running away. But he gives this false dichotomy. Um, which statement is proven scientifically and observed daily? A, non living matter producing new life, or B, pre existing life producing new life? So, no one, abiogenesis isn't non living matter producing
As it
new
says,
life.
non-living matter. It's all matter is non-living.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
matter
mean,
itself is
yeah.
he
The last time
means,
I checked, the steak is not living, and when I cook it, it's definitely not living. And then it becomes living matter when it goes back in. It goes
and
back and forth, and yeah, it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
because
and
the thing is like his mommy and daddy are are made of matter, you know?
Yeah, but the problem
And
is he don't matter.
they produced him, but obviously when he says non-living matter he means organic matter, I think, or no, he means inorganic matter producing new life, like abiogenesis. No one is saying that inorganic matter is producing new life daily.
Yeah,
This
no
is
idea
an
about
event that occurred millions of years, and possibly billions of
billions.
years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
billions of years ago. And you don't see it happening now because as soon as some chemical process creates, like, let's say, an amino acid from abiotic precursors, it's going to get devoured or it's
Yeah.
going to get degraded right away.
Bacteria and amoebas eat the damn thing immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
So
and we
it
don't
has no
see God producing man from dry dust on a daily basis, and
Yeah, that's
we
exactly
certainly
right.
don't see it scientifically.
That's what I put up as well. I just take the question, flip it around, and replace A with God producing anything on a daily basis. And yeah, we don't see God doing anything. So we're not even requiring that He's producing new life. He just isn't producing anything. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
But this is what he kind of continually posts without any kind of oh, you're tapping out by ignoring everyone else. Yeah, he just ignores it. He pretends like, oh, I won an honest answer, and he doesn't
He doesn't
care.
want an answer at all.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, and he just says, oh, they tapped out, and he's not counting himself tapping out.
Oh, wonderful rebuttal there, Flojo. Come on, man, do better.
Did
So
people see the new little marsupial they discovered in
no.
Papua
I'm
New
interested.
Guinea? I'll find a link to it anyway, and stick it in there. See if I got it. But yeah,
Oh,
they found a.
yeah. What kind of marsupial?
It's not the pygmy bloody wombat, which is a lie. It's actually a marsupial rat, but they've dubbed it a pygmy wombat. But that was
And
found
that
in this.
pygmy wombat marsupial was in Noah's Ark, right?
Well, the
It would
wombat,
have to have.
yeah. The one they found, it was in Papua and shit. What is it? New. How do you spell marsupial?
Hang on, SCPIAL.
MARSUPIAL. While you're doing that, here is our
Laugh
friend
a while you can, monkey boy.
crying in the comments. Why does Salinger believe team keep affirming they think Richard Dawkins is a bigot about the scientific consensus saying that's the China? Of course, Richard Dawkins didn't say sexist.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Dictionary.
he can't help but lie, can he?
But
Because
the
Dawkins
funny thing is, like, Pirate coming on and giving him a little, a little
reach
smiley
around.
face.
Yeah,
It is cute how Monkey Boy really loves hanging around with the trans atheist. I mean,
yeah, and he's also transracialist too.
that's right. He's trans
Yeah,
in both ways.
yeah. I'm pretty sure he decided to come out at Mardi Gras while wearing blackface.
Oh man,
Well, that'd be fun.
That would be funny, as wouldn't it? Climb up on a float
you know
in
what?
blackface.
I'd be there. I'm just an hour away from New Orleans. I'll go take a picture of that.
Oh, we just had game Mardi Gras here, so
Speaking of that, some years back, I went to Barcelona, and the for a junket, and the first morning we walk out of the hotel, just look up the hill towards the sort of main street, look down the hill, and there's a giant crowd of people down the bottom of the hill. You go, oh, wonder what's going on down there. Wander down the bottom of the hill. It's the gay Mardi Gras, like half a block down the hill from our hotel. And you just go, well, that was unexpected timing. And while we're standing there, we kind of look over to the side, and in the crowd kind of opened up a little bit, and there's a completely naked man wearing painted on lederhosen. And you go, now that is something you do not see every day.
That would be tame down here.
Yeah, painted on lederhosen. And you go, that, like, he put some work into that. He really did. Yeah, that's a whole body costume just done out of paint to stand on the side of the road and watch the floats go past. But the other thing which was kind of amazing is after the last float went through, coming right behind them was a whole pile of people with sweepers and brooms. And within 5 minutes of the last float going past, there wasn't any sign the event had even occurred. They'd cleaned it all up. It was amazing. I've never seen anything like it. They just basically swept along behind the last float and vacuumed it all up, and all the glitter, it was all gone, and the road was open. And you go, that is amazing.
Very efficient, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, getting rid of glitter is pretty amazing.
that's right.
Isn't that-
It's basically it's considered impossible for most people, isn't it? No,
It's
the
bloody
Spaniard.
hard to get out from between your teeth, I can tell you that much.
Well, just next time, check for the vajazzle before going there.
Oh my gosh. So is Pirate just a pod in disguise? Neo thinks so. I don't think he is. I mean, not that it really matters. It's just there's plenty of bigots like him that it's not surprising that he's a different bigot than Apot. But whether he really is Apot or not, he did post something where he was asking Monkey Boy, why some people call him Apot. So he's at least acting like he doesn't know who Apot is.
At the very least.
And I did try to look up the old Apod account, and it's different. So it's not Apod took his existing account and changed it to Pirate.
Yeah.
So it's at least a different account.
Yeah. It's like, well, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like him. We could all be wrong. Maybe he might be changing his method, but who knows?
No, but let's say that a brand new bigoted, anti-trans bigot account came on the AXP. What are the chances that Monkey Boy is going to gravitate to that account and be chummy with him?
Good point. You're
100%.
Yeah.
So
You're right. You're right.
So yeah,
I think it's kind of a good thing because I think Monkey Boy was kind of getting sad not having his friend around with him.
I'm trying to find the clip of the straight Mardi Gras that they tried to hold in Sydney a few years ago.
There's a straight Mardi Gras?
Yeah, they tried to hold a straight Mardi Gras. I'm looking for the clip.
Well, good luck with that.
Bear with me. No, it's only a short clip.
Wait, what is going on in your background, Ook?
it's pissing it down by the sound of it.
Yeah, it's bucketing down.
Oh, really? Wow.
Really quite. Yeah, the cat's pissed off because he can't go in the cage. He can't go in his playpen. So he's decided to bite everything. But back to finding the straight Mardi Gras clip. Hang on.
Maybe something you can find during pop it in the comments, and we'll have a squiz at it next week. That'd be funny as.
Well, it also depends on where you're at too. Like down in Louisiana, smaller, more conservative communities who celebrate Mardi Gras. It's definitely going to be family friendly. You're
Yeah,
not going
Yeah,
to see a
that's
lot
true.
of this.
Yeah. Yeah,
for the most part, there's it makes sense to have a pants on Mardi Gras for most communities. But that being said, there's also nothing wrong with naked people. They're just people.
Oh yeah,
Everybody's ugly when you take your pants off.
yeah.
It's funny that Craig
Speak for
thought
yourself.
that they were talking about Darth Dawkins.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, no, the regular Dawkins is is turned into a bigger, but yeah, he's embraced what do you call it, Christianity, the secular Christianity, or what do they call it, cultural Christianity, is
Oh,
just basically
really?
Yeah,
yeah.
it's been a while now since he's done that.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, he said he's a
Huh.
cultural Christian, the same
Okay.
as what was the woman's name, one of the four horsemen. I can't think of it now, but she embraced cultural Christianity as well. Wants the trappings of Christianity without the belief, and basically then you can use
What even is that? What is cultural
essentially.
Christianity?
I think it's you want to be able to be a bigot and have all the excuses to be an asshole, but you don't want to actually have to believe in God. So you don't use God as your excuse, but you just you just behave as if you're a Christian, and you do. So yeah.
That just makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's no culture in Christianity.
No, but the ability to be anti-trans, anti-gay, anti everything. You can't change anything. Change is not allowed. All of these.
There we are. There's the link to the straight Mardi Gras.
All right.
So yeah. And then there was the stupidity of Scott Adams
Oh yeah.
saying
Oh
that,
my God.
I'm totally gonna be a Christian now because I got nothing to lose. You just go, holy shit.
I mean, it's just
Yeah.
that whole Pascal's
That's the
wager
Scout
thing.
Wager, yeah.
It was so bad.
That
And
just
it
came
wasn't
out.
even like he wasn't even trying to be sincere. It's like, I don't want to go to hell, so
It kind of
I'll say I
it
believe it.
almost makes me think he was trolling everybody.
It almost seemed like it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let me see if I can share this. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Oh, share this tab instead. Okay, great.
Mind you, you got it. Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
There's no nudity. Yep, that's it.
Good evening, Australia. I'm Carrie Ann Kennel. So good to have your company. And may I say how thrilled I am to be here on the ABC. Easy as 1, 2, 3. And what an honor it is to be sitting in this studio where such controversial and hard-hitting shows have been made. Four Corners, This Day Tonight, The Simon Gallagher Show. And I'd just like to say a big hello to my new boss, David Hill. I love you!
So is this person like famous comedian or something, or what is this?
Yeah.
It's a comedy show called Fast Forward. And what she's doing is she's playing a character called Carrie Ann Kennel, based upon a woman by the name of Carrie Ann Kennelly, who was a famous news anchor and current affair type reporter.
One of those types. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slept her awake.
Now onto the news. Victoria is to finally bring in pokie machines, specially adjusted for the Victorian economic conditions. They will only take 1 and 2 cent coins. The jackpot is a ticket to any other state in Australia. Mr. Hawke restated his claim that his now famous fishing trip with Laurie Connell was purely recreational. Mr. Connell caught a silver perch and a flathead, and Mr. Hawke bagged a very large grafter. And speaking of Bob Hawke, once again he's asserted his government cannot be bought. He was speaking at a press conference to launch the new Ronald McDonald Minister for Health. That's great. And on a lighter note, earlier in the year, Sydney kicked up its heels with its gay Mardi Gras. What a hoot! What a waste. Now Melbourne is sitting back with its own self.
Yikes.
Wait, okay, so we have a few minutes left. So
Celebration. Sounds exciting. Here's Margaret Bland with all the details.
It's fiesta time, everybody, and Melbourne's heterosexual community are out in droves for a Mardi Gras. Yes, it's Melbourne's straight Mardi Gras. And who will want...
that's a good one. Straight is great.
Sydney's High Camp bejeweled and bedecked transvestites after our businessmen take to the streets. Plus there's the wedding march.
Come on, let's just go. I don't care what they do as long as they don't ram it down my throat.
All right.
It's good. These guys have produced some funny stuff. One of the we've lost QC momentarily. One of the funniest things they ever did was a takeoff. Does anyone remember the old Kung Fu TV series from like the 70s?
I never watched that one, but I did see the
and there's a scene in there where in one of these was the Full Frontal it was Fast Forward was the original one, and then they rebranded and called themselves Full Frontal. And there's 2 comedians by the name of Steve Vizard and Peter Moon playing the 2 characters from that. Peter Moon's the cross-legged guru, and Steve Vizard's the kung fu student. Oh, bodgy bottom! It's some of the funniest thing you'll ever see. The 2 guys are trying so hard to deliver their lines, but they're just falling apart internally while they're doing it. It's I love comedy where the comedians can't keep their shit together, and I don't know how many times they tried to get it in a straight take, but good stuff.
All right. We're going to be forced off in a couple of minutes, so I just want to say thanks everyone for being on. Thanks guys, and thanks Craig for staying on. Aaron and Tuna, hey, and thanks. Especially thanks goes to
Laugh a while you can, monkey boy.
our friend here for making this so funny. All right, and we'll see you guys all next week. Bye bye.
See you next week, guys.
Hit the like button.
Challenge your beliefs, let the silence break the silence, shake the faith. Truth survives the hardest quake. Hold to truth, no more opaque. Reason's voice, it sings so clear through fear we hear. Cut through the noise, dissolve the fear. Rise above what you revere. No more shadows dressed as truth. Light reveals what lies uncouth. No more chains disguised as proof. Reason frees the mind uncouth. Let the evidence ascend. This is fallacies end. Scriptures written in disguise, veiling men in holy lies. Faith without a place to land, truth that crumbles when it's scanned. Show me logic carved in flame, not a God who hides in shame. Test the world and break the spell. Truth survives where falsehoods fail. Won't you at least let the silence break? Break the silence, shake the faith. Truth survives the hardest quake. Hold to truth, no more opaque. Reason's voice, it sings so clear through fear we hear. Through the noise, dissolve the fear. Rise above what you revere. No more shadows dressed as truth. Light reveals what lies uncouth. No more chains disguised as proof. Reason frees the mind uncouth. Let the evidence ascend. This is fallacy's end. No more shadows, only light. No more blind.